What's going on, guys? JHoyt back today with a very interesting video. So it is Call of Duty Modern Warfare. We are playing I guess a new game mode on the channel, not necessarily a new game mode in general, but we have some gunfight. And if you guys don't know what this is, it's a 1v1 arena style game where you have these randomized kits, I guess I'll call them, or loadouts, I guess is the Call of Duty term for that. And you fight it out in a 1v1. Now, they've had this before in World War II. It was a pretty solid game mode. I had a lot of fun playing it. However, it just didn't really keep anyone's interest longer than anything. Like, you'd go in there, play a couple of games, be like, I'm warmed up. Like, that was honestly a perfect warm-up game. But then after those couple of games that you're going to play, no one's going to go purposely play it. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. It's a cool game mode. I actually had a lot of fun playing this for the first time ever. I've seen a little bit from it, but like I said, it was a pretty good game mode to start off on. But that is not what we are here today to talk about. And what we are here today to talk about is the Call of Duty League. Now, if you guys don't remember what this whole thing is, Call of Duty went into franchising. And obviously, everyone knows my thoughts on it. If you haven't, go back and watch. Right? There's, I think, a few videos on it. And let's just go over it. So, franchising. $25 million to get into this league per team. So, you got 12 teams. That's a lot of money, basically. A lot. That's math that I don't feel like doing, but that's a lot of money. So, with all that money, with all those sponsors, with all these teams, you'd expect a lot from, this league. But have you guys heard about the start date? Anyone? No? Nobody? No? Oh, wait, there's been no advertising? Or any kind of promotion or anything towards this game? No one? I'm looking around, hold on. No, wait, nobody? Oh, okay. Yeah, it starts in 10 days, by the way. Did you guys know that? 10 days. January 24th through the 26th. A little 3-day weekend in Minnesota. Now, obviously I'm joking about it, but there has been basically no advertisement for this thing, right? You play Call of Duty Modern Warfare, no advertising that I've seen, right? None. I'm on Twitter constantly. The only people I see actually promoting this thing is Minnesota. And obviously all of the teams, mentioning their home games whenever they're going to be in their selected cities. But in the case of Minnesota, they actually, I don't understand, but they got kind of lucky in the fact that they got the launch weekend, which is supposed to be huge. It's the launch weekend of the new biggest league in town that has no advertising or on the worst Call of Duty ever made or anything. So it's really mind-blowing that this is not the first year of Call of Duty. This Call of Duty is not a new thing. It's a new Call of Duty, but Call of Duty is not a new thing. Right? Call of Duty's been out forever. Like, I'm on like our 13th year or something like that. Like 2006. Like our 13th Call of Duty back to Call of Duty. And then Call of Duty 1 or 2 or whichever one was next. And then 3, 4, World at War. And then, Black Ops 1 was in there somewhere. I don't even know all of them. But this is not a new thing. Right? We had the the CWL, the Call of Duty World League. And it was just starting to get to the point where it was like, alright, all this stuff makes sense. Right? You're in you're at the arenas and whatever and you're playing, and then you have all these various different tournaments, which was absolutely great because it had like events and then it had the Pro League. So like those events were separated, which was perfect. Right? You never have to worry about, oh, why don't they come to my city? Well, you can't go everywhere. Now, one thing that the CWL did lack was they basically went to the same cities every year. And although some of those cities were obviously like staples in events, like Anaheim, when they go over to London was huge. And what's the other big one I'm thinking of? Is it Dallas that I'm thinking of? Yeah, Anaheim. What's the biggest one? It's Anaheim something and is it Dallas? It's Dallas. Is it Dallas and London? I don't remember. But anyway, you had those like 3 big ones, and then they had a couple of new cities here and there, and it was all right and whatever. But I mean, come on, right? This is not our first year. This is not our first rodeo. This is not the first time we're planning events. Now, you go and look at it, and now you have a ton of new people running stuff. You have a board, or a league commissioner that I've never heard of, right? You have the guy that planned all of these events in the past, no longer running anything to do with the events, which just doesn't make sense to me. And now you have all of your legendary teams, such as your Optics, your Phases, your Envy, United, like teams like that. Those legendary, and I shouldn't, United's not really a legendary name, but you know what I mean. The Optic, Phase, Unite, or not United, Envy, right? Optic, Phase, I keep saying United, Envy, Phase, Optic, right? Those three, I guess, big pillars of Call of Duty are no longer a thing, right? You do have an Optic Gaming team that's based in LA, but nothing's the same, like nothing, right? You have players on that team that are the quote-unquote Optic killers. You have a brand that now everyone hates because of, you know, decisions from people that didn't know Optic, basically. And obviously I'm not going to go into that whole situation, but it's no longer the same Optic, right? Optic is just a name anymore. It's not a brand. It's just a name, right? That brand left when Hex left. Right? It was Hex's Optic. Like, there's no denying that. But anyway, back to my point. This whole Call of Duty franchise has been, do I want to say a failure so far? I don't want to say a failure because obviously we haven't seen what it's going to be yet. But when you look at this league, we're 10 days away. There's been no advertising. The only people promoting it are the teams themselves. And I'm personally looking at the Minnesota Rokers Twitter right now. And the only reason I did that is to make sure I had the date right of January 24th through the 26th. And just this team alone, okay, just this team has 31,000 followers. 31,000. Now I'm going to go to arguably the biggest team, okay? And that's going to be the Huntsmen, right? And I'm not just saying that because that's a team I'm supporting, but most likely this is going to be the team that not hometown team, but like the fan favorites, essentially. Their team, 90. I'm also rounding these numbers up. 92,000 followers. Right, 92,000. Okay, let's go to like just a random team. Let's go to the Seattle Surge. Right, that's another team. Where are they? Right there. Seattle Surge. These guys have 30,000 followers. Do you guys get my point? These guys are promoting it. It's like one of, like, honestly, no offense to these guys, but some of those, like, lower tier orgs that don't have followers, don't really have money, don't really have big name teams or big name players or anything, that just sit there and promote the crap out of everything because that's all they can do. It's like one of those, right? These teams that just pop out of nowhere and hope for the best is basically what they're doing, right? Because all these teams, like none of the teams have over 1,000 or 100,000 followers, and that's really sad because if you looked at teams like Optic or Envy or Phase or any of those teams, they should have millions of followers, right? Now, the Dallas Empire, another team, 53,000 followers. Now, if you go and look at that, obviously it's a little bit different, but let's go look at Optic Gaming now. Now, like I said, this is a new team, right? But they still have all of the same followers, basically, as they did before, right? They have 3.3 million. Now, you go look at teams like Envy, right? I could have probably looked at that before when I was actually looking at Dallas, but you know what? Wow, these guys don't have a lot of followers. 562,000 followers. Now, why do I say that? Why do I tell you guys their follower counts? Because no one's promoting it. Nobody. Not a single person, really. And it really sucks because obviously Call of Duty has been a huge part of my life since Black Ops 1. And I like to see this whole competitive thing be super big, right? And be at that level that Counter-Strike events are at, where they fill up huge stadiums and have the entire crowd interested in the sport. Not half the people there because they had to drive their friend or had to drive their boyfriends, girlfriends, or whoever there. I want them there because they're a fan of the sport, because they're a fan of the teams, because they want to cheer for this awesome event and see the best teams play. That's what I want. But it just doesn't seem that Call of Duty really wants to do that because of all this, what do I even want us to call it, just bad advertisement and a really lackluster effort. So I'm going to rest my case there for now. There might be a second video closer to when the league actually starts. But for now, guys, I'm going to wrap it up here. If you did enjoy, hit the like button down below. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button. And as always, guys, we'll see you next time.